Okay, mate, we're live. So you did such a good job last week. I'm going to let you do the intro again. So crack on, mate.
I've actually got someone to do it for me this week. So
Oh yeah,
if I let him go first, if that's okay.
yeah, go on.
Thank you, Lewis and Pete, for letting me do this introduction. It's been a good first few episodes with Mike Fighter Jets, under the counter Burger King deals, and how to professionally hit someone in the face with a champagne cork. We have had Pete confronted on the underground by a man whose profession is knocking people out, including himself. Now it is time to grab a cup of 10-pound tea or cold beer and get into the podcast that is seasoned humor. I would like to say a thank you from myself, John Smith. Wait, you didn't think I was Morgan Freeman, did you? I do get that a lot, but unfortunately I am a postman from Manchester and not a movie star. Over to you, lads, for the podcast.
I like the way there was a delay with the £10 tea.
How much did you pay Morgan Freeman to do that? Or
Morgan Freeman from Manchester? It's not Morgan Freeman, it's John Smith.
John
just
Smith,
for copyright issues, it's John Smith. He's from Manchester. He just sounds a lot like him. He gets it all the time, though.
He's like the guy off of Britain's Got Talent. Britain's Got Talent. He used to announce Britain's Got Talent or X Factor. And do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm blown away that John Smith wanted to do an intro for us, to be honest, mate.
It took 2 episodes to get him on board. He wasn't forthcoming in doing it, but
he was sold.
No, he thought the first 2 were so good. He thought he had to get involved.
I got to be honest, that was a really good intro. It's a pleasure to have John Smith on board, and if he wants to do some more, then he's more than welcome.
I'll let him know. Hard guy to get hold of, but you never know what's going to happen in the future.
I think we need to talk about AI on that note, because I'm guessing that's what it was, or not.
Yeah. Do you know how I stumbled across that?
Go on.
There was something on there, as you're like scrolling through like TikTok and YouTube, there was like there was a news thing about AI doing rap battles.
No, really?
And it's like one AI is Google and the other one's like Amazon, and they have like a rap battle, and it's hilarious.
Oh, I'm gonna have to come. I'll have to have a look for that after the show. Now, AI is seriously getting a bit too powerful for my liking. I'm not gonna lie.
It's completely fine. There's never an issue, and it's not a problem unless you see something that says Skynet on it, and then avoid that, because that's the bad stuff.
What's Skynet? Is that that's
Terminator 2?
That's it. It's Terminator 2. I was racking my brain thinking it's not Sky TV he's talking about. It's definitely something else. I'm sure I've seen something else.
Have you seen on talking to Sky TV? We love plug-in, by the way.
I do. We do.
Have you seen the smart glass TV advert?
I have. Yeah.
And it says, "It's not a smart TV. It's smarter."
Smarter. What's the smarter about it?
I don't know.
I've got to be honest. I don't want to plug them because I've been looking at them for a little while now. You
want a free one?
I do. Yeah, I do want a free one. If you're listing Sky, then you know where my address is. I'm a loyal 18-year customer. By the way, I just want to say, I think they're the biggest rip-off in the world. In general.
No, I love them. I love them. Send one to me.
No, I'm not talking about the TVs. TV, I have one. The actual, when you phone them up and you say, I want to. I think I'm going to leave and go to BT or Virgin. They now actually Google your address, don't they? And
Really?
or they not type Google, but they type in your IP. They go onto Virgin.com to actually see if you can get Virgin in your house.
No.
So they go, well, actually, sir, we know you can't get Virgin in your house, so we know you're lying. So your price will now be £95 rather than £85.
I do like the Sky setup though. I like the way it looks. I like the feeling of the controller. I think you like, some people aren't bothered, but I'm not with them at the moment. Only reason because the guy who sorted my Virgin out, Dave the Virgin is his name. He's left Virgin. So I texted him when he told me, I said, Sky, here we come.
I nearly spat my drink out when you said that. I was taking a gulp of my drink and I nearly spat it out. But in seriousness, we're going to need to stop plugging these companies because we'll never get adverts because we do all free plugins.
Yeah, but I'd be listening to the podcast, and do you know what really every podcast starts with an advert.
Oh, it winds me up. Honestly, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
It winds me up. We need to, if
I'd rather be poor and not do it.
Let's wind back a tiny bit. First of all, I think we need to say a big thank you to everybody who's listened to the podcast in the first 2 episodes, because it's actually gone a lot better than what I thought it would have done, in a way that I thought there would be less views. And I know we've plugged it to a few people and said to a few people watch it, but when we look back at the statistics, we've had actually quite a few views of it and had some quite positive feedback on that note. So I think we should say thank you to people who listen, and long may it continue, and hopefully we can make you laugh and smile for the next ones. But we do need to find a way, if we do get into that point where adverts and people want to advertise, we need to somehow incorporate it into the conversation, rather than this podcast is sponsored by Cherryade beer.
But that's what I am. That's what I noticed when I was listening to other podcasts. When an advert's read, the hilarious part about it is that it sounds scripted. I'd rather just say, if I had an advert, instead of saying like say it says like Improv Crisps advert, right? And I go, oh, these are like ready salted crisps, are the best crisps I've ever tasted, because when I'm running down the street eating my bag of crisps, that these crisps make me feel that much better than all the other crisps because the packet's blue. Instead of saying that, I just go, these crisps are wicked. They're 99p. Get them at Tesco. They taste really good. Crack on.
Yeah, but you're right. There's nothing worse than listening to a really badly scripted advert. So, Lewis, when you was down the pub the other day, I heard you had a problem in the toilet. And it's like, oh yeah, let me tell you about that.
Hang on,
problem.
you said you weren't going to talk about this. This was between us.
All right, I'll stop. But you know what I mean. Like, there's a really bad, and I just think I don't want to go down that route. Hopefully, we can.
There was 3 of us in that bathroom, and we promised to each other we'd never speak about it.
like the Gavin and Stacey episode.
Yeah,
there's never spoken about the moment on the boat.
That's it. I went to talking to toilets. I went to West Wales on the weekend, and there's this Chinese down there that I went to with my parents. Took my parents for a Chinese. I went to the bathroom. The slippiest floor I think I've ever walked in. On. I said, "Where's the toilets, please?" They said, just down the road, down the corridor." Open the door. As I opened the door and I put my foot in, it was literally someone like from Home Alone. You know, when he's walking down the steps and he can't stand up. That was me. Couldn't believe it.
You know, when you said just down the road, I got a vision of them sending you down the road to their house. Like, there's just a couple of like doors down, just down the road. Yeah, just go outside, just down the road, knock on the door, number 26. They'll let you in and use that bathroom. Hello.
That's it. And they give you three sheets of toilet paper before you go in.
On a note of toilets,
Mayday, I'll drop my headphones.
Oh, can you still hear us? Hopefully.
Are you there?
you
there? No,
you can hear us. You can hear us. On a note of toilets, I see the funniest sign I've ever seen in my life in a toilet. You know the Dyson hand dryers that you stick your hands in, and like you have to stick your hands down into.
Yeah.
Put them out. Well, there was a sign in the toilet, and I'm not going to mention the name of place. The sign in the toilet basically said "no genitalia" in the hand dryers.
Oh, that sounds like that. That just makes me think that could go terribly wrong, couldn't it? That could go terribly wrong.
All I could think about was walking into that toilet and seeing someone squatting into the hand dryer.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, from an electrician's perspective, you don't want to dip anything in electric sockets, do you?
No, you don't. You really don't.
Did you know? Because you said you were a qualified electrician, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you know the underground map is based off that, an electrician board or something?
I've heard about this. I've never really looked into it very much.
Because I've been researching a few things based on the fact that you're traveling on the train every day. So I thought it'd be something cool for us to talk about.
Can I tell you a story about? It's not a bad story, but it's a silly story. But I get up really early in the morning and I get on the train, as I said to you before, and I think as I mentioned on the podcast. I got on the train the other morning, and I generally get on the same seat every day, like it's become a bit of a routine now. And as I get on the train, I sit down, put my headphones on, start listening to a podcast or a bit of IB for chilled music or something like that, and then I generally start to drift off. What I really hate when I fall asleep on a train is as you go. Do you know when you startle yourself and you get startled? Well, pretty much every day I startle myself. So as I start to nod off, I my head nods and I jump up as if I'm gonna fall. Like I do it all the time. The other day I hit my head on the window with a packed train around me.
Oh no!
And you know when you try to style it out, and you like it's the most obvious thing that you've done. I tried to style it out, and I was like, I wiped my forehead like I was. And
you need those glasses that people wear that looks like you're still awake.
the ones, but
just sit there with your eyes closed.
But I do it all the time, and I can never ever. I get really uncomfortable now on the train because obviously
the guy who knocks people out.
Well, yeah, that guy as well. Worry about him getting on the train again. But no, just generally, I sit on the train, and that happens all the time. Whether I'm going to work in the morning or coming home overnight, and I think to myself, I must look really silly. Oh, excuse me. I do apologise.
I do that sometimes. It's not that unusual.
No, I don't think it is, but it's quite funny when you're watching someone and they startle. It's quite amusing, but when it's yourself, you get a little bit paranoid.
On a train,
it's not a very funny
fine.
story. But
if I was driving on the motorway and you look across, and when people drive past, just look in the windows. If I seen you do that driving and it looked like you were just coming round from a nap, then yeah, that's a bad thing. On a train's okay. In the car's not so cool.
It's quite weird, isn't it? Like there's moments. There are moments in when you're doing stuff and subconsciously you feel like you're looking at yourself, or like you fall asleep on a train and or you fall asleep. Do you know when you feel like you're looking at yourself? Have you ever had that feeling, like that you subconsciously sort of not come out of your body like you've died? And I don't know what that feels like, by the way. But
if you've been taking DMT on the train,
but you subconsciously feel like you're sort of looking at yourself sometimes. I don't. It might be just me. It might be just the drugs
maybe
that I'm taking.
Maybe you're a wizard.
Is it Harry Potter? Is it Harry Potter?
You do go to that train station, don't you? Maybe you are. Maybe you're developing magical skills as you're going through that station.
Yeah, it's got to be. But I've been getting like really random things. I was sitting on the train the other day, and I get on coming home, sit on the same seat coming home. It's become like a routine. I get to the station at a certain time and come home. Sat down. I'm looking at my phone, talking. I'm actually texting Key, telling him I'm just at the station. I'm just about to get on, like leaving. I'll be at the train and blah 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 and all that.
Get more tea on.
And then a guy taps me on the shoulder. I got my headphones on. A guy taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Can you move, please, mate?" And I was like, "Excuse me." He went, "Can you move, please, mate? So me and my partner can sit here, like my work colleague." And I was like, "No." And he was like, he looked at me, and I was like, "I went, mate, I've been sitting here for 10 minutes." I said, "And you've just got on a packed train, and there's one seat there, and there's one seat the opposite side of the aisle, and you want me to move?" I don't think so. Do you know? And I automatically thought that moment you spoke about the other week, where you said about the person that gets up and is a gentleman, and I thought, yeah, I'm not that sort of guy.
What? So there was you were in a double seat on your own.
Yeah.
And there was two single seats,
but either side of the aisle. So one was next to me, and then one was on the opposite side of the aisle. They didn't want to talk across the aisle. They wanted me to move. How do you
sleep at night?
They wanted me.
How do you sleep at night?
But the fact he prodded me on the shoulder. He literally
never mentioned. You did mention the prod.
He did.
You did mention the prod. Yeah, rebel.
Honestly, if he'd asked me nicely, if he'd asked me like as nicely and not prodded me, probably would have been a different matter. But because he prodded me, and he actually prodded me, I'm not making this up.
Maybe you should have given him that feedback, because if you'd given him the feedback, he'd know for next time. Then just say, listen, look, your prod was about 60% too much.
It was just really
nice
rude.
Tap on the shoulder, different environment, mate.
Just really rude. But it got me thinking about random questions that people ask. And is there anything that you've been asked that's really random and you think, why would you ask that?
Oh God, so many things spring to mind. So if someone, when I'd asked you, so we're on the train, right? You're sat on the one side, I'm sat on the other. We don't know each other. Chugging along, chug, 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 chug. I look at you and go, did you know 55% of the underground's not underground? That would be random.
It would be very random and well done.
That's one of the things I read. I wanted to share with you. But someone could say that to you on the train, couldn't they? They could be going along, you don't know them from Adam, and they go, oi, mate, 55% of this underground isn't underground.
It would be really bad. You'd be looking at him thinking, what the hell's going on here? What's he talking about? Why is he just randomly rolled that fact off?
I did get my hair cut the other day, and I was sat in the chair. They just opened, and this guy comes to the door, and it's not in a great area. And this guy comes to the door, and he was like, rah, 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 rah. And the guy comes over to me, who's cutting my hair, and I was like, what did he just say? And he's like, I don't know, mate. And then he comes back, because there was like a Shell petrol station the other side, comes back and just sits in the chair. Geordie, though. Nothing against Geordies. Love them to pieces. Massive fan of Ant and Dec. Couldn't understand what he was saying, though.
Is it the bit where he went, why, aye, man? Or
why, aye, man?
What a place that is, by the way, Newcastle. I went there I've only been there once, and it was on a stag do, and it's a different world. Do you know?
It's meant to be the best place for a night out, isn't it?
Honestly, it was really good when we was there. What I didn't enjoy about the stag do was because I was the best man and we took him paintballing, they said the best man in the stag have to do a run and get shot with loads of paintballs. And I don't get that. Why am I being punished? Why am I being punished for that? That put me off of Newcastle for the rest of my life. Not going back there. Just purely
got scars.
So, all I can think about is, do you know? I don't want to compare it to the start of Saving Private Ryan, but the paintballs whizzing past my head as they were shooting at me. The fact was, the fact that made it even worse was that when we did it, and they got us there, and they said, right, everybody who is taking part in the paintballing, so not just the group that I was with, the 10 or 15 of us that I was with, the other 10 that were playing the paintball games with us also got to shoot us. How does that work?
It just seems like a bad deal.
I just felt like because we were from down south, they were picking on us. That's the God's honest truth. And the worst thing about it was wet and it was slippery and I slipped over and all I could just feel was the paintballs bouncing off my back.
Does it hurt? I've never been.
It's it doesn't hurt. It's a really weird sensation. So there's certain parts of your body that are a little bit more obviously sensitive than others. If you do go, don't wear a morph suit because
I would never go in Newcastle though.
don't go in Newcastle.
I would never, because in Biker Grove, what's his name? Lost his eyesight, didn't he?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What was his name? It's Deck in Biker Grove.
Yeah, I can't remember. Not the Ant and Deck. They weren't them, was it? One of them.
It's Ant and Deck, but they weren't called Ant and Deck, were they?
I don't know. I can't remember that far back, to be honest with you. That used to be the TV viewing after school, didn't it? You used to come home from school, and that was about 5 o'clock. Was it 5:30 before Neighbours? Biker Grove used to be on, or Blue Peter.
That was when, wasn't it? bouncer. Craig McLaughlin. Remember that? Hey Mona.
I do a little bit. Yeah, I never really got into them. I used to try and get home. This is the difference between kids of today as well, by the way. We used to get home from school, throw our stuff in, change into our full football kit, be full kit W's. I'm not going to swear. Be full kit W's, run down to the park and go and play football for the afternoon. Kids come home now, they throw their bags in, they run straight upstairs and they switch the Xbox or the PlayStation on. And then and they don't go out. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way. It's a different world. And we
just didn't have them then.
We just didn't have them then. I think if we had them then, it might be a bit different. But
we wouldn't have gone out.
we wouldn't have gone out. But I remember when my friend got the this not Sega Mega Drive. It might have been a Sega Mega Drive.
Master System. Was it the Master System, the one before?
He had Sensible Soccer, so it might have been a Mega Drive.
Sensible Soccer.
Sensible Soccer. It used to be. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't remember Sensible Soccer, but I remember like some of the games were bad when they.
But it was bad. But it was the most frustrating. That was the first. I think that's where FIFA Rage started. By the way, Sensible Soccer. Sensible Soccer. 100%.
It was Pro Evo as well. Remember that? That was on the PlayStation.
That was on the PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of rage as well.
There's some proper geeking out, but I do remember that, and it's but yeah, like now it's just really bizarre, kids. But you don't get that after school TV. You don't get that after like that TV after school anymore, do you now? So you come home from school now. BBC used to have, what was that program that BBC used to have on after school, and like Philip Schofield and all them sort of people used to be on it, and they used to be like the kids sort of part on the BBC, didn't it? And then it'll go to like a Biker Grove or Blue Peter, and then it would go to Neighbours, and it was always the same things one after the other. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember.
Remember Funhouse? They did a thing in my school, and you could like win to go on Funhouse, and I thought, I'm gonna win this, and I never.
You never got on it.
No, it looked really good as well.
Funhouse.
It's wacky. It's wacky. It was outrageous. It's Funhouse. It's a whole lot of fun. Prizes to be won.
Let's bring it back.
Funhouse.
Let's bring it. It won't be called. It'd be called something else. It'd have to be called something else. And it probably didn't. They tried to bring it back actually. Didn't.
The thing is, if Funhouse came back, it would be like Funhouse sponsored by Red Bull or something.
Something like
It'd be like Extreme Funhouse.
But I'm sure they tried to bring it back because the go-karting always used to be like. It used to be like the go-karting was the thing you wanted to do. They used to have to collect the stars or whatever. I can't even remember.
That's right. Oh, the stars. That's really funny. I remember there's this one program called Nightmare, and they had to wear a hat, and it was like a virtual reality thing. And they'd have like three of you. One was doing it, and the other two would go forward 3 steps, and it was like the crappiest game.
I remember Nightmare.
I think it was awesome.
I remember Nightmare. They used to wear like the cloak, didn't they?
That's it, yeah.
To wear the cloak. There's a funny YouTube video. I'll have to share it with you. I can't, off the top of my head, but my brother-in-law Taz recorded something off on YouTube of a clip, and he put it onto YouTube. I'll send it to you afterwards. I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'm sorry, podcast people listening to this. I might put a link in the description of the. We'll just put it up on the YouTube channel. Yeah, we'll put it up on the YouTube channel. But it was really, and Taz, my brother-in-law, remembered it like from when he was a kid, and he said to me, "Do you remember?" And we was talking about it one day, and he showed me this clip. Honest to God, it's the funniest clip I've ever seen, and it was on that Nightmare. I'm 100% sure it was. He's going to bug me now. It might come to me while we're talking. I might even Google it. I might even search it while we're talking. But there used to be some great...
that was filmed in a room, wasn't it, with like a green screen thing, wasn't it? And it was like the poorest quality program ever. But
they I mean, that's the thing. Like going back to AI, you sort of look at what we're able to do now. I mean, you look at what we're doing now, how we're filming this, or how we're recording this podcast. We're talking over the internet, like on a piece of software, looking at each other face to face. Obviously, AI now. I didn't know about AI really much about AI until I watched the South Park episode where they talk about Chat GBT, and one of the kids is Chat GBT in his girlfriend, and bearing in mind these are little like primary school kids. That's what South Park kids are, aren't they? They're about
it's brutal.
8 or 9, 10 years, 8, 9 years old, and they're chat, and one of the boys is Chat GBT in his girlfriend, and because he's using Chat GBT, he's writing all these lovely messages. He's basically copying her message into the Chat GBT, and then whatever Chat GBT throws out, he sends it back to her without even looking at it. So they're all going, "Oh, he's amazing, he's all this," But going back to the point, like you think now, and what you've done with the intro, for example, or what we did the other week with the intro that you read and stuff like that. It's like you can do it. People are writing essays, but they've got software now to be able to track that.
It's only Chuck Norris, isn't it? At the end of it,
the AI.
Artificial intelligence, like we type into a keyboard and that generates an answer.
It's just
and then AI types it into another keyboard that sends it down a pipe to Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris answers the question, sends it back to AI, and then AI sends it back to the computer.
But Chuck Norris is a bit of a legend.
He literally. Chuck Norris is not only nails and one of the toughest men on planet Earth, but he also has the best collection of jokes, doesn't he?
I've got to be honest, I don't know a lot about Chuck Norris. So
Really?
I don't. I honestly don't know a lot.
Bruce Lee?
I know a bit about Bruce Lee, but I don't know a lot about Chuck Norris.
When I went to that Chinese, they had a Bruce Lee in this like cabinet. It was like a shrine to Bruce Lee. And he was in his yellow suit.
Yeah.
It's so cool. If anyone's listening to this, I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel in the community bit so people can actually see it because it's that cool. And that's all I got to say about
that. It's brilliant. I love it. It blows my mind the way the world's going and the AI and all that. I think it's really clever. I just think it gets used sensibly. It's good. It's fine, isn't it?
Chuck Norris can cure all illness with his tears. And the only reason there's illness on planet Earth is because he hasn't ever cried. And if you spell Chuck Norris in Scrabble, you win forever.
Oh, no. If you spell Chuck Norris. The Chuck Norris jokes. Oh, Jesus. Well, where are we going with this? This is like... So far, this has been the most randomest chat podcast we've ever done. I know we've only done 3, but this has been quite random tonight.
I just want one. Can I do one more?
Yeah, go on.
Last one. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. Chuck Norris jokes is just the gift that keeps on giving. He completed Street Fighter 2 on the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh, don't! You're making me belly laugh, and it hurts. Do you know that's the worst? As much as the belly laugh is the best laugh in the world, it's the one. It's so painful.
I'll tell you what I did notice earlier. I took Jensen to the cinema because he wanted to see the Meg 2, which was pretty cool. But in the they do the adverts for other films before the main film comes on. They have the Expendables. I don't even know what it is now. Is it 3 or 6 or something?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not
Whatever
sure.
the new Expendable films
There's quite a few of them.
Thinking of Chuck Norris because they're all in it, like Dolph Lundgren, Stallone. 50 cents in the new one. I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, they're just
got his muscles out.
It's what I don't. I mean, I haven't watched number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
Well, you don't seem happy about this
or whatever. It's not that I'm not happy about it.
Oh, put your foot down.
This is a grind my gears moment.
Keep it on track.
Sorry, I don't get sequels to films. A lot of films, like when's a sequel too many sequels? So,
Well,
is it? Can you call a third one a sequel, or a fourth one a sequel?
If Back to the Future never had a sequel, it would have just been the future, wouldn't it?
You're right.
Here we are, present day.
You've got. It's not. It doesn't. It's. I'm not saying it. I haven't watched the film, so I could be doing it complete discredit, and it could be really good. It's just
if Jaws 2, if Jaws never did a sequel, they wouldn't have needed a bigger boat.
I got to be honest. I'm curious about the Meg 2 though. I got to be honest. I'm curious about Megalodon 2. Don't tell me about it. Don't tell us about it. Don't ruin it for anybody listening to the podcast.
I wouldn't do that because I watched something the other day, and it was another podcast on the YouTube, and it was one of these YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
And I really liked this podcast, and I was watching it, and they were on about John Wick 4, and they basically said what happened at the end in this 60-minute clip, and it ruined my day. I've watched 3 films, and I've enjoyed every single one.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing happens every time he just kills everyone.
John Wick.
But it's the coolest film ever, and from a guy's perspective, that's all. I just want to go home, drink some beer, and watch John Wick. And then I was looking forward to watching the 4th one, and they ruined it for me.
That's outrageous.
Absolutely scandalous.
Absolutely outrageous. You just like, do you know? You just said about being a man.
I just got finished though because I clicked the report button, and there was no. It says a report for like bullying, harassment. There was nothing for spoiler alert.
That's outrageous.
I'm gonna put that into YouTube.
I would do. I'd
ask them to add a
recommendation. They should have warned you at the beginning. They should have done an advert at the beginning of the podcast saying, just by the way, that we're going to spoil the end of John Wick 4.
John Wick 5, I reckon the start of John Wick 5 should be John Wick kicking their door into the podcast studio, kicking the living crap out of both of them, and then leaving.
Don't you ever ruin my film ever again.
Yeah.
And then just walk out.
Yeah, exactly.
But as I was just about to say, about being a man.
Man's man.
A man's man. You just triggered a little thing in my brain. I've been doing a bit of decorating in the house. I'd say a little bit, not a lot, a small amount of decorating in the house. Is there ever a point in your life when you feel like a proper man, when you walk into a tool shop and buy some power tools? You feel it's the one moment in my life, and it's not very moments. I actually feel like I'm a real man, and I walk into a shop and I say, I want that saw or I want that drill. And I feel like I've achieved something, and all I can think about is the power of that drill. It's really sad. It's a really sad moment.
When you say that, I picture you walking in like a lumberjack shirt and like, all right, mate, yeah, couple of screws and a drill, and then I walk in the B&Q. I'm like, excuse me, sir, can you point me to where these screws are and the light bulbs, please? Like aisle 5.
But it just reminds me of again, reminiscing about my childhood. There was a show called Home Improvements. Tim Allen, back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, Tim Allen used to do the show Home Improvements, and it was where he looked over the fence to his neighbour, and I think his neighbour's name was Wilson. They've just started playing it again on they're just about to start playing again on Paramount. I see an advert for it a while ago, but when you buy a power tool, and all I think about in my head, he used to do a bit where he did a show about tools to a live audience, and with his sort of sidekick Al, and they'd get like a drill or a nail gun or some form of leaf blower, and he'd just go more power, and he'd go, oh, 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 oh. and all I think about when I'm drilling in or drilling a screw into the wall, all I can think about is more, and I just go, oh, 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 as I'm screwing in or drilling the wall. I'm so sad.
That is pretty funny.
I just triggered that memory of like I was building a partition wall, and I'm doing that exact noise when I'm drilling with my new battery drill.
When you get your new drill and you walk around the house, do you always have like half a pencil in your ear? You know, like when you put it on top of your ear.
Yeah, I do actually.
And then just like draw little like pencil lines on the wall and things, and then measure. Get a ruler out, even if you don't need to, just to measure something up.
Get the level out. Put
the level out. Get on top of the telly.
The level on the wall. Mark a straight line on the wall, and
get a cup of tea.
Yeah,
can't hang anything up without a cup of tea.
A £10 cup of tea. Do you know what? Right, that every time I walk past the coffee shop now, all I think about is that. That's what I think.
Mate, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I'm telling you.
We should sell it to Starbucks, as we said. No, that's something I need to mention. Actually, there's a lot of homeless people in London, and it's not a nice thing to see.
Oh no, it bothers me a lot.
It bothers me massively, and there's a guy that I walk past every day, and every now and again I buy him a croissant. Like I get a couple of croissants and I buy him a croissant. It's 90p. It's nothing. I'm not trying to make myself sound like a good Samaritan, but there's one guy that I walk past that he's dressed. Did
you put the thumbnail of this podcast of you handing him the croissant?
Should do, shouldn't I? I'm not looking for any sort of praise, but there's one guy I walk past. I actually don't think he's homeless, and I actually don't think that he's.
That happens.
I actually don't think he's homeless, and I actually don't think that he's. He's dressed too well for a start, and I say, and I apologise now if he's a homeless guy. I apologise, but
he could still have circumstances.
He could have
the means for him to be able to have to be out. Ask him. Yeah. There's a guy who does it's on YouTube. It's called Invisible People.
Yeah,
and he used to be homeless, and he travels around the world, and he goes to all different places, and I hate that because it's the one thing that really bothers me. And there was one video on there, and because I watched all these videos of him going all over the world, and mainly America.
Yeah.
But then he did one in Cardiff, and there was this young lad.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and the sad thing about it, he said, like, when I'm out here, he said, everyone walks past and gives me a McDonald's. Everyone walks past and they give him a bit of abuse. He said, I don't want your McDonald's. I don't want your Burger Kings. He said, I just want a toothbrush. I want some deodorant. I want to be able to drink. I want to brush my teeth with some water. And that's so sad. And people don't understand. Like, everyone snubs it, but you don't know your circle. Like, the one guy I seen in London, he split up with his partner. She booted him out the house. He lives in London. Like, everywhere in London, as you already know, is expensive. How can he find somewhere to live? There's nothing. We send all money abroad. There's nothing really in places there to help people. No, and it's sad. It's so sad.
I say it's something. I feel bad for these guys. I see them all the time, and I didn't mean for this to get dark by any means or any. But it's something I think that should be addressed, as you said. But as I say, I just a lot of people I look at, you can sort of see, but there's the odd one or two that are there in their nice tracksuits. They're with their nice trainers on, and they're begging with a Starbucks mug or something like. And I think, question it. I don't know where I was going with that, if I'm honest with you. So I do apologise.
Do you know what though? Next time you can't. Part of you has to not do that, and you have to kind of like give that someone a benefit of the doubt sometimes, because you don't know, do you?
No, you're right. And that's probably bad on my behalf. And as I say, I don't know why I went down that route.
What you need to do next time you see someone, give them a benefit of the doubt, and when that guy asks you to move out your seat, get out your seat.
It's bad. I feel a bit bad now. I spoke about that. I need to lighten the mood up.
Don't worry, there's good in all of us.
It's well, I don't know. I feel like I've been a bit of a bad egg this week with that bloke asking me to move, and I said no. And
when you get on the train next time, just take a Bible with you, put your headphones in, listen to a podcast, because no one's going to ask you to move when you're reading the Bible, are they?
I there's a guy I work with, and he was telling me what he does when he gets on the train, and he got a routine that he gets on the train, and he said he gets on, he puts his cup of coffee and his phone next to him on the chair next to him so he sits on a table seat, puts his cup of coffee and his phone next to him, so it looks like somebody's sitting in the chair next to him. And then when someone comes up and says, "Is anyone sitting there?" He goes, "Yeah, they've just gone to the toilet."
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, and you just think like, what a pro move that is.
Was there one guy that I seen, like, he is another thing that I seen on YouTube, when there was some guy who went on the underground and he like made people food, and he had the plate with the silver cover, and he was going around like, and he would go up to women and like give them roses, and then like literally get a little table out, and there'd be like a 3-course meal. And
I've
seen him about?
I haven't seen him yet. I'll be waiting for him actually. Like if he's like one of them thingy chefs, the what's it, the thingy star chefs, whatever they called, the I can't remember what the star's called. Michelin star, that's the one. Michelin star, one of them.
Why is it? Is that just sponsorship? I don't understand that. Is it like
Tires.
Why is it called the Michelin star? Yeah, but why is it associated with the Michelin Man? Is it because it's like there was a book or something?
I think it's a book, isn't it? It's to do with travel, isn't it? I think it's. Do you know what? I don't know. Is the honest answer, but I think it might be to do with travel.
If you walked into somewhere really fancy with like loads of tires around you and said, "I'm from Michelin," get some free grub.
Oh crap! It's the undercover Michelin Man.
How did you know?
That's brilliant. I just, oh man,
what gave it away?
Well, it's you know what, mate? It's so hot in it. It's so hot today.
Tell me about it.
I'm absolutely sweating out today. I was going to put a fan on, and I said and Kay said to me, "Get the fan from upstairs." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that. I don't want the noise of the fan." I mean, the one thing I like about this podcast when you listen to it back is I like the sound of like the nice sounding mics and that. I said to her, "I'm not having a fan going sound like I'm."
You did say there was a bumblebee in your mic.
Yeah, but sound like I'm sitting on a Florida swamp somewhere or doing the podcast on one of them
Everglades.
on one of them boats that got the big fan on the back. That's the worst.
If you want to say manly, you could call yourself Pete the Croc Hunter, couldn't you?
It's already been done, isn't it? Crocodile Dundee, Mick Dundee. What was the other guy? The guy's name who died.
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin, the crocodile wrestler or whatever he was called.
How does I was so sad with Steve Irwin, but I never get this right. How did Colin McRae, famous rally driver, dies in a helicopter?
Yep.
Michael Schumacher, amazing Formula One driver, gets injured skiing.
Yep.
What's that other one? There's loads of like people who do like the craziest of stuff get hurt doing something that you wouldn't think.
On everyday life sort of stuff, yeah. It's that like life's funny, mate. Life's strange, and like if it's your time to go, it's your time to go, and whether you like it or not.
I would like a warning.
Whether you like it or not, would you want like one of them beacons or something, or a text message?
My mate's dad had a bit of a bad heart, and he's got one of these pacemakers.
Yeah,
I don't know how true this is, but he told me they only last for so long, and then you have to have the batteries changed.
Yeah, I mean, you have a service, I suppose, don't you?
Yeah. So he said, a couple of years gone past. His dad's just like in the pub swilling a pint. Next thing he goes, dude, and it's like beeping or whatever, and that's the noise it makes before it like kicks in if you have a clutcher to like help you out and revive you.
Wow.
And it was the battery. But can you imagine that if it like goes off and you're like, fucking hell, this is it.
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, nah, it's just the battery.
It's just a battery, just a battery kicking in because I was about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, sorry for swearing again.
Yeah, it's, I should got to learn how to beep. Yeah, do a
yeah.
beep.
We did try.
We could put it in.
It just comes out sometimes. One point, and I'm saying anything.
Yeah, but it's life, isn't it? But going back to it, I think what you said, life is very precious, I think, and you've got to make the most of it regardless, and anything can happen to you any time, can't it? Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing or where you are, where you're at. I think, unfortunately, if your time's up, your time's up. That's the way I look at it.
Sometimes people have more of an idea of when it will be, because like, look at the guy who jumped from space with Red Bull. Do you see that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
He literally jumped from space, and they said he was traveling at 800 miles an hour, and then they said no one knew what would happen when he fell, so it could go really, really bad. And I think it did at one point. He started to spin and spiral out of control, and then he kind of regained it. But he's going to have a better idea than most, isn't he? Like, the next half an hour is going to be a bit of a rough one, but if I make it through it...
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's crazy. It's just like,
sometimes people love those risks, don't they? Like, that's just an adrenaline junkie, then, isn't it?
It's adrenaline junkies. I think we had this discussion. I don't think we had the discussion on the podcast last time, but when you've got money, how much money is too much money? When you can do stuff, anything you like.
Well, give me all the money first, and I'll tell you if it's enough. Yeah, I'll let you know as I go.
I read a thing on Facebook. Someone won the Rich for Life 10K a month thing.
That's the one to have, though, isn't it?
Well, that'd be nice. It's a normal life, isn't it? You still get your wages every month, and you crack on. But,
well, 10 grand a month. Would you go to work if you had 10 grand a month?
No. What I'm saying is, you still get your wages. That's your wages. So it's it's like your wages. But quit your job, whatever you do. I think this guy was a plasterer. And then you go and do whatever you want for every day, didn't you? But it's got to be boring. Didn't you not think it's got to be boring? If you're, I don't know.
Because like, the one thing I never understand is people stand up and they go, they interview them afterwards.
Yeah.
And they get this massive check for like 20 million quid.
It's not going to change my life.
And they go, oh, it's not going to change my life. I would be there and I go, listen, guys, thanks for the cash. Everything changes from this point. This is going to be the most batshit crazy story we're going to have to tell. And I'll be on one of those Lear jets straight to Vegas. Like
that guy who just like had bumper cars in his back garden and was just wrecking cocaine and beer every night. Just and then done all his money, end up back in prison, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a bit sad. That really.
It's just mad. It's just nuts. But that's out of control, isn't it? Like that is the problem. Is your life is going to change, no matter what people say. Your life will change, won't it? But it's gonna be a little bit of a. It depends, doesn't it, on how you control yourself.
I wouldn't waste my money on materialistic things so much, because I think if you had the money, materialistic things wouldn't be so important. Because look at, like, when you see all these like billionaires like Musk and Zucker, none of them wear watches or anything, do they?
No.
And I think the important things would be like traveling,
buying a space rocket,
stuff, time, making sure you got a Sky Glass TV if they want to sponsor us, and
buying the Back to Future car, the old what's it?
DeLorean.
The DeLorean. I couldn't think of it.
I want the one that you have to put packs of crisps in, though. I don't want to put fuel in it.
Yeah,
just uranium and crisp packets
and banana skins.
Yeah.
you want the upgraded version, the 1989 version. Whatever it was, I don't know.
I think I got some of them knocking around.
What, DeLoreans?
Someone gave me a very cool. Bags of crisps. Someone gave me a very cool present once. It was a Back to the Future DeLorean Transformer.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you had to like order them from China, but it was a Back to the Future DeLorean Transformer. So I thought it was pretty cool. He did tell me that there was also this like massive Optimus Prime you could buy that transforms into it on voice command.
Yeah,
and I was like, I have to have one, and I said, where do I get it? And then I looked and it was 800 quid, and I thought, probably not going to get it.
Probably not going to get that one. That's a little bit too. That's crazy. There's some really cool things, but like that, like you said there, that if you was to have all the money in the world, you could buy some really random things.
Oh, the first thing you do, another plug for Sky. Please give me free Sky. You'd upgrade your Sky. They'd say, "Here's your 95 quid." You'd be like, "Not a problem. I'm rich now." You go straight to McDonald's. They say, "Do you want to go large?" You'd be like, "Not a problem. The cash is there." Like things like that just wouldn't be an issue anymore, would it?
Do you want the large £10 tea, which is £20 tea?
Go to the cinema. They're like, "Do you want the more leg room?" You're like, "More leg room? Hell yeah! An extra £5 in, no problem."
Do you want to select your seat on the Ryanair flight you've just bought? Or
yeah.
Or are you gonna buy your seat up front with the extra?
I'm buying extra luggage room, but I'm not even bringing extra luggage. I'm just buying the extra luggage space because I can, because that's how much of a baller I am.
That's a way of wasting money, though, isn't it? I reckon that them guys that are mega rich, like your Musks and your Gates and all them, your Bezoses, that they're the tightest men in the world.
I don't think Elon Musk would. I think Elon Musk is pretty down to earth. I don't think money matters to him.
No, well, it doesn't. Well, money don't matter to someone when you've got all the money in the world. Let's be honest.
I think if that guy was poor, I reckon he would. I don't think he'd be different.
No, I don't.
He just wouldn't have a rocket.
He just wouldn't have a rocket or a Tesla.
Yeah, he'd still be cool though. He'd still be like a mad scientist kind of person, wouldn't he?
He's that sort of guy.
I reckon he would still be trying to go to Mars even if he didn't have a rocket. He'd be building a teleporter or something, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's a clever guy. That's the thing. All these people that do these or own these platforms or own this stuff. I mean, let's be honest. If it weren't for Bill Gates and whoever created Microsoft with Bill Gates, we wouldn't have Windows 10 or Windows like to be able to talk now and do that sort of stuff. If I don't know what else Tesla done, but or what else Musk done. I don't know about history.
The car Tesla or the
Tesla? I don't know what else Elon Musk done before he got his money. But you think of like Jeff Bezos with Amazon. He obviously did something to then create Amazon, to bring Amazon and then go online and basically have this vision of a shop, didn't he? Online, which you now get next day delivery, and in some areas you get same day delivery. It's changed the world, isn't it?
Was he just in the back of his parents' car one day and they were like driving along and he was reading a book and then he saw like a big warehouse and then he saw a van. He was like, book, warehouse, van. And then he put the three together and he was like, Amazon.
I don't know. As I say, it's just, it blows my mind. These people that have got all this money, they've got this money for a reason, haven't they? They've worked, found something, they've made something, they've created something. Facebook, for example, with Zuckerberg, like there's I don't know. I mean, I still to this day struggle how to understand how Instagram ended up becoming as big as it was with regards to how Twitter becomes worth as much as it does when it didn't have adverts originally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I struggle with that still. I don't understand it.
But if you won a Powerball or something tomorrow and you had 100 million, what would you do?
I'd probably I'd try to see my notice out just because I'd feel bad to like hand my notice in and go, but part of me would go, right, I'm not coming in tomorrow. I've won 100 million. Sorry, see you later. I'd get the family. We'd go on holiday straight away. Or we'll go somewhere where we could take the dogs, because that's one of our biggest problems, is taking the dogs on holiday or doing something with the dogs. But
fly the dog with you.
Fly the dogs with us. Go and hire a private jet. Take the dogs with us on holiday to our new holiday home in wherever.
Fun Island.
The mains would be idiots. I'm not going to lie. The mains would be idiots. We would be just splashing the cash everywhere. You can't see my actions I was doing there, but yeah, That's,
he had one of those guns that fires the notes out.
I was playing £10 notes around the room. Yeah. No, you're right. It's I don't know. It'd be life changing. You can't even imagine it. I don't think that's the problem. To even be able to imagine it, it's just beyond your wildest dreams. I think until you was told, you don't know what you would do. And as you said your point earlier, until you know you've got that money, you can't picture it. So you can't say, it won't change me, because I think as soon as £100 million dropped in your bank account,
what would you give the guy you give a croissant to?
I'd go and find him. I'd give him a few quid. That's for sure. 100%. I'd go and give him a few
100
quid.
million. You could just go around London buying people houses, can you?
Yeah. You need a house. There you go. But you could change some people's lives, couldn't you? I would definitely go and change some people's lives.
How much money do you think's enough? Like you said, you asked earlier, didn't you? How much money's enough? Like to live a comfortable life, you just need a house, enough, a little bit of money in the bank. You don't need millions.
Do you know what? Right, I had this conversation with Key the other day, and obviously we're working class, me and you. We haven't got loads of money in the bank. Some months will be better than others, where you'll have a bit more money left over at the end of the month.
I'm from Newport, I'll have you know.
But some
don't
months
Google it anyone, it's awful.
Some months will be better than other months, and you look at it and you think, if I didn't pay my mortgage, if I didn't have a mortgage to pay, and I didn't have to pay, like, I don't know, for your credit card bills or loans or a car or something like that. So just say you've got a house you pay £1,000 a month for. Just say you've got a car you pay £300, £400, £500 a month, or say £500 a month for, just straight off. Because most people nowadays lease or buy a car. It costs them anywhere between that, doesn't it? That's 1,500 quid a month.
I know.
If you could put 1,500 quid away a month across the course of a year, you're talking 12. Well, my maths is not brilliant, but you're talking nearly 18 grand.
Yeah.
Or 16 grand, 18 grand. I think it's about right. But
it's a big number.
It's a big number. That is mega amounts of money, and that is the difference between having enough money and not having enough money. You see when people retire, using my parents, they've just retired. You see them retire, and you stop paying your mortgage. All of a sudden, your life changes.
Millions.
They've got millions in the bank. Yeah. And on that note, I think we should close the podcast. But no, but on a serious note, I think we've been a bit more serious in this podcast. You just if you've got, as long as you've got enough money to eat every month, as long as you've got enough money to have a bit of clothing on, put a bit of clothing and that on your kids' back, and put food in your kids' mouths, it doesn't matter, does it? I don't think it matters.
No, we've learned to give people croissants and to let them have our seats.
Yeah, give people croissants. That's a tick in the box from me. The giving the seat up, that's going to be a bit hard.
Yeah, I know you're a good person.
Yeah. And on that note, I think we should close the podcast up, mate.
I think our friend wants to say one more thing
before our friend that does the outro on the podcast. I think we've got to say one more thing, and that is the email address, if you want to get hold of us, is seasonhumour@gmail.com. You can send your questions and we'll read them out on air. If you want to ask us a question, anything like that, maybe give us a content idea or two. It's up to you. We can have a chat. We will put the Bruce Lee link and the link for Nightmare that we talked about in the description of the YouTube and the podcast. And that's it. Thank you for watching, guys, or thank you for listening, guys. Lou, play the outro.
Thank you for listening. From myself, John Smith, not Morgan Freeman, and both Lewis and Pete and the cartoon gorilla that was designed by a vodka-fueled university student. Goodbye from us at Season Humour Podcast. See you on the next one.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye for
now. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.